So this is the start of something new. I've been wanting to do this for about a month or so from now, and I'm finally getting to it since my life has been a little bit less busy, but we'll see how busy it gets. So this is the Whispers of the Sea podcast, and I'm excited to do it because it's a different form of content than what I'm used to. I mean, yes, you could say commentary type content is basically podcasting, but has its own completely unique category compared to like YouTube shorts, like long form content, even streams. This is like completely different. So I'm excited to get into it. It's been something that I've been wanting to do for the past month or so. So I'm excited to do this. And I always want to try different things. So podcasting is next. We'll see if I like it or not, see how far this gets to. I'm not going to give an exact date for when a new podcast release, but it really depends on my schedule and if I accidentally forget about this sometimes, which I'm probably going to do, I'm not going to lie. So I would say twice a month, but we'll see what happens, especially since I'm not doing YouTube full time yet. So this is kind of just a little side thing that I put in. So podcasting is like a little additional thing that I put into my schedule, which is fun. Very fun. Anyways, for any of you who don't know who I am DolphinCupcake, aka Dolphin, and I am a small YouTube content creator. Hopefully, I'll grow within the next few years so I could stop saying small content creator, but I am a content creator. I do streams, I do long form content, I do YouTube shorts, I make Minecraft skins, texture packs, etc., etc., etc. And I really like this niche. It definitely helps me with my creativity and when I just want to yap for a lot, especially with podcasting. I also run the Play on Minecraft Championships, which is similar to MCC and Block Wars. I could probably yap about that for a while, but it's a 40 player event on Minecraft. It has a really big debut with our 40 players because it's like basically the national event of Play on Minecraft, even though we're not associated with Play on Minecraft. I mean, it's an unofficial event, but I would like to consider it like a big event for Play on Minecraft, though they have they're starting this like fall festival thing. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, I really wish I could be a part of the team, but I honestly gotten out of the Plant Minecraft community ish. I used to be really super active in it, but I'm not anymore. So getting back on track, I also have axolotls and 3 bearded dragons for right now. I'm planning on pairing them up at the end of the month, so I will have a bunch of baby ones by the end of the year, which is super exciting, especially since they are the Zeromorph. I'm going to get some Zeromorph babies, especially since the Zeromorph is a white/grayish morph, so it's like super unique in the bearded dragon category. It's not like I'm breeding regular bearded dragons. I'm having some expensive genes and morphs, so that's going to be really fun, especially with genetics because I love genetics so much. Explaining it is quite difficult. I would have to like show you on calculator or like show you visually. It's really hard to explain without visuals, so I'm not going to do that. But that is me, Dolphin Cupcake. I'm so glad to meet all of you guys watching either on Spotify or on YouTube. So the story behind my name, aka Dolphin Cupcake, you're gonna have to go back to when I was about in 4th grade. So yeah, a long time ago. I really liked dolphins at the time. They're my favorite animal, and they're still my favorite animal. I mean, it kind of sticks with you if your name's Dolphin Cupcake. Your favorite animal has to be a dolphin. I mean, even though I like axolotls, like really like axolotls, dolphins kind of have to be my favorite animal because that's my name basically. Anyways, at the time, my favorite animal was a dolphin, so I want to do dolphin. But if you search up on YouTube back then, there's people already named Dolphin, and I didn't want to copy them, even though I could probably become the biggest. I could have created that, became the biggest creator with Dolphin, and just overtake them, and then it would have been my name. Especially since I'm in a different niche than the other content creators at the time doing content, so because most of the other creators were doing like IRL content and stuff, so my niche would be completely different. But I decided to be Dolphin Cupcake. I did not decide to be just Dolphin, even though there is a content creator that I just realized that's named Dolphin, and they're also a part of the Minecraft community niche. Yeah, competition. It's wonderful. I really want to. It would be really cool if we got onto the Minecraft server and we become the Dolphin duo, quote unquote. But that would be cool. But I don't know Dolphin either, so and we're not in any SMP together, and I don't know him, so yeah. It would be really confusing if me and that other person were on an SMP and someone just says Dolphin because I go by Dolphin. I don't go by Cupcake. I just go by Dolphin. And that would be super confusing. But it would also be really fun. Though I doubt he would ever be listening to this podcast, but if you are, please send me a DM. But anyways, back to why I chose Cupcake. You would have to ask my fourth grade self because I have no idea. Maybe because it was short and Dolphin Cupcake kind of goes together and you can say it really easily. Even though my favorite food is ice cream. I mean, cupcakes are okay, I guess. But I don't know why I chose Cupcake. Maybe because Dolphin Cupcake kind of goes together. I don't know if it does or doesn't. I mean, it does go together. I mean, it's not hard to say. It's kind of like jumper who. You wouldn't expect those two words, jumper and who, to go together, but they do. And so does Dolphin Cupcake. Ish, kind of. So basically, Dolphin Cupcake has been my identity since for the past, I don't know how many years. So basically, I kind of have to stick with that username. It basically has stuck with me. I'm known as Dolphin Cupcake. I mean, that's me. I would have a hard time rebranding or doing anything because one of my friends is recently rebranding. And I'm like, I mean, that's cool all in all, especially if you're going to like a different season or a different period in your life and you want to rebrand. But at the same time, you're starting from scratch. You're going from absolutely everything. You have everything laid out, like branding and stuff. And now you're gonna have to start fresh, and it's kind of the reality of it. So I don't think I would ever rebrand because it's hard to think creatively of a new username, and I don't want to copy the other content creator that I was mentioning earlier, aka Dolphin. Or if I wanted to change my username to Xlotl, I mean, there's many content creators with the name Xlotl. I could think of only one Xlotl, but that's only in the Minecraft content creator niche. And of course, there's also people like Fanced. Of course, that's a creative username, but his Minecraft skin is an Xlotl. So yeah, I don't know if I would ever be able to rebrand because, I mean, this is me. This is what I'm going with for the rest of my life. 9-year-old me decided what I'm going for the rest of my life, which is crazy to think about that in that sort of form, and that is crazy to think about. But you may be asking, if I like dolphins, do I like orcas? Do I like belugas? Do I like blue whales? Do I like whale sharks? Do I like sea lions? Do I like sea turtles? And that question is yes. I love all sea animals like a lot. I really want to see a lot of them IRL, especially orcas in their natural habitat, not in SeaWorld. I hate SeaWorld so much. I would really like to do that, or even going and swimming with whale sharks in the ocean. That would be crazily insane, especially since I'm probably going to get my scuba diving license soon, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I really wanted to swim with them in the Georgia Aquarium, but there's only one now, and the chance of it dying within the next 5 years is pretty high, so there's a big likely chance that I will never, even though I can swim in their big, or scuba dive in their big giant tank or whatever. I don't know how many gallons. It's a lot of gallons, like a couple, like multiple thousand gallons. Even though it would be cool, and because they have like manta rays and sea turtles and big fish in that tank, I really want to swim with whale sharks because they're the biggest fish on the planet. That would be crazy. So that is my opinion on sea animals. I could probably change my name to like orca or something. That would be honestly be pretty cool. I love orcas as well, especially since they're a little bit bigger than dolphins, a little bit smarter than dolphins, and I don't know how to say this, but they have like a really cool origin story, especially since I gotten into a little while ago, a couple months ago, I got into SeaWorld and their orcas, and like what's their origin story, especially like we all know Tilcum, the orca who has murdered 3 people. It's crazy, bro. Anyways, to see his origin story from going to captured from the wild, from separated from his mother, to going to small dirty aquarium in, I think it's like Europe somewhere, and then going to all the way across the world to Canada, flying by plane, and then after accidentally drowning someone there, he goes to SeaWorld Orlando for the rest of his 10 years of his life, which I think is crazy that he's only been in he only knows small tanks for the rest of his life. Yeah, and that's just crazy to even think about. So orcas, crazy. Especially since we have so much that we don't know about them as well, like their social life. They are extremely social. Females are the dominant of the group. Yippee! Especially since they say that all the time. Every time I watch a SeaWorld show on YouTube, every time they mess up, they say, "Oh yeah, females are the matriarchs of that, and they don't want to do the show." They say it every single time. It makes me kind of mad. But yeah, that's my hate towards UWorld. I could probably do a whole podcast on that, but I will keep going on to Back to the Start, which is my first episode, which you are watching right now. This is the beginning of my podcast, but Back to the Start is definitely a unique name. I'm trying to have unique names for this niche, especially since it looks good on cover art, especially this today's episode cover art. I absolutely loved it. Yes, I designed it. I love it so much. I also love the next episode's cover art as well. I'm excited for other cover art that I'm gonna do. I have not thought of any other episodes, so I haven't made any more cover art. But I'm excited to design more cover art because I love graphic design like a lot. I like making thumbnails. I like doing that kind of niche stuff, especially since I use Canva, right? And I could tell you if they use Canva or not, especially in at like a fair or a convention or a billboard. I could tell you if they use Canva. I've seen a lot of billboards with Canva designs or fonts or yeah, stuff like that. Point out, yeah, they use Canva because I used it way too much and I know a lot of their designs. So that's crazy to think about. I use Canva a lot, yes. So going back to the organ story, today we are talking about a lot about organs, not organs like in your body, like origins. I could totally say origins, guys. But today we are starting back at the origin story of me. Yeah, especially since this podcast is the first. Might as well do it about my origin story. So obviously I said the reason behind my name. There you go. But then I started doing, since I was really young, right? Like I said, 4th grade. I wanted to do like Cookie Swirl C type content. If you know who that is, if you don't know who it is, don't worry about that. Yes, very kids cringy content that I never want to do in my life. Even though kids content is cool, I just don't want to be in that niche for a lot of reasons, especially since some of that niche is really weird. It's just whatever brainwara and trends you have to pick up on, which is crazy to think about. You can't even use your original ideas. You have to use that. Like that's the niche for it. Anyways, I did kids content for a while because I was really young. I did that. Oh, obviously, all those are deleted. Those videos will never see the light of day again. And then I started doing lyrical type content. So basically, making like edits slash doing the lyrics to a song. I still have those up, aka my famous Do or Die or Life by the Sea. There used to be a lot more, but I deleted them because of copyright and I don't want to get any copyright strikes. That would be really unfortunate if all my stuff gets taken down because of an old video. And then just recently, probably about, was it 5 years ago? Oh my goodness, it's crazy. I think, no, more like 3 years ago, yes. But it's getting there, it's getting to 5 years. I decided to switch from lyrical. I took a 2 year break and then I started to do more long form, which I'm going to be doing more often as I get the free time to, because I have a very busy life, unfortunately. So And then I've just recently, I think about 2 months ago, I started the streaming part of my life, and I've actually streamed for a grand total of like 30 hours, I think, already, which I think is pretty crazy because I've only started 2 months ago, and I love streaming so much. It's just something really easy. You don't have to edit it. Speaking of, I might be live right now as this gets uploaded. Maybe. I don't know. Anyways, I love streaming a lot, especially since I did my 12-hour stream, I think about 2 weeks ago, was it? By the time this podcast gets out, maybe 3 weeks ago. But yes, I did a 12-hour stream, which was crazy. A lot of people call me crazy for even thinking about that crazy idea, but it happened, and that's where it went. So it was fun. It was definitely fun. Waking up at 5 a.m. to go stream was crazy. Like, you're doing this, and I'm not even getting paid or anything. It's just been for like fun, and that was the crazy part of it. So I probably will get monetized. Wait, actually, I could turn on monetization now, but I'm gonna wait till I reach affiliate, so it's kind of like multiple celebration type thing. So monetization soon, hopefully. YouTube, I can't do monetization until I get like, how many hours is it? 1,000 watch hours, which is going to take a while, unfortunately, because I don't post often and I only do stream content, so it's probably gonna take a while. Anyways, that kind of went through what I've been going through as per content. Now I'm doing podcasts, so new forms of content as I think of them. I really take inspiration from Parrot's Test Run podcast, which is taken off of YouTube, so you have to find. There's this YouTube channel that did a archive of everything, so I'm starting to finish the podcast. When he deleted it, I was only halfway through the podcast, and so I finally get to finish it, which I'm glad that whoever re-uploaded it, thank you so much, because I could finally finish that, and I'm excited to, because it has a bunch of content creators that I would love to hear their interview, because they haven't been interviewed anywhere else. Speaking of podcasts, another podcast that I feel inspired from to start this podcast, aka Whispers of the Sea, is Inside SMP. Did I say Inside SMP? Oh my gosh, I'm trolling, guys. Inside MC, which is a really cool podcast. There's a bunch of small creators, and there's, of course, larger creators like Life Stealers and Curryway and Wrecker and Jumper Who and a bunch of different creators. So that is a fun podcast to listen to as well, seeing what their opinions are on content creation and different videos and such is super fun to hear. Especially when you're starting out YouTube and getting advice on how to grow as a content creator, especially a smaller one like me. So that's really fun to listen to. Though I don't really listen to podcasts much. I listen to them occasionally when I'm doing like Star Stable grinding. And that's basically it, because that's the only time I have to listen to podcasts. Because I mainly listen to like Forrest Frank type music. I love his music a lot compared to like podcasts. I'm not a huge podcast fan. Saying that, well, recording a podcast is crazy, but I'm just saying that I don't really like to listen to podcasts that much. Maybe make podcasts, yeah, sure, but listen to them, maybe not. And then also speaking about origin story, what inspired me back then is a bunch of different YouTubers, like I said earlier, Cookies Shall See, when I was young. And then once I discovered Paradox 2 and I got out of the kids' content niche, I fell in love with cinematic content and storytelling like a lot. Parrot does such a wonderful job with storytelling that you would want to watch every single one of his videos, which I have. I love his content a lot. He makes really good content, so especially for like the storytelling aspects. Other people I feel inspired by, Rec Rap. Everyone says Rec Rap. Everyone loves Rec Rap. I don't get why, because I'm more of a Paradox 2 fan. Especially in like the 1 million subscriber race, I was cheering on for Parrot even though he lost, which is unfortunate, but Parrot does such a good job at storytelling. Rec Rap, it's just his personality. Yes, he has good edits and has somewhat good storytelling. It just does not compare to Parrot. Parrot feels like you're watching a literal movie, which I think is crazy. And I really want to create that kind of content later on in my career. And then also, more YouTubers that you could feel inspired by that I take inspiration from is Jumper Who. Really cool content creator. She joined Lifesteal in season 5, and I loved her stories, especially like the Abyss War when she did the whole backstabbing slash betrayal slash mole work. That was so exciting. I love that kind of storytelling, and hopefully she does that kind of content again, especially since she did the Truman Show as well, which was so unique. Like, she has such good ideas. And her next video is going to be based off Groundhog Day slash repeating things. If you guys haven't heard that, aka Bing, which you may have heard a lot from Jumper Who. I think that's either a word she made up and she's repeating, like Groundhog Day, and it's basically became a part of her branding now. Or it's from Groundhog Day. I've not watched that movie in like forever, so I have no idea. And then more YouTubers that you could feel inspired from is also Wembu, which for his personality, he has a really unique personality, like super self-wanting personality, and at least for content creation, I believe not outside of content. I mean, I wouldn't think so. But his unstable universe personality definitely brings out his videos a lot compared to the other two unstable creators, aka Flame and Spoke. Even though they both have good content, Flame's content is more PvP based slash banning people off of unstable, and Spokes is just trolling people slash finding glitches, so that's their type of content. Though I sometimes watch Spokes content. I don't really watch Flames content unless you want to watch 30 minutes worth of PvP, which I don't really like. I like storytelling, so I tend to lean more on Parrot's unstable universe side. And then Wembu's just because of his personality and his content has somewhat of storytelling, so that's kind of why I like it. And then moving out of Unstable Universe, going back to Lifesteal type content, which I watch Lifesteal mainly. I know a lot of people who watch Hermitcraft or Infuse SMP or Strength SMP, etc. I just don't really find. I mean, Hermitcraft is cool, but it is more like building slash redstone than betrayal slash storytelling compared to like Lifesteal and Unstable Universe. So I tend to lean more on the Lifesteal Unstable Universe side because I love storytelling so much, like I said earlier. And then more YouTubers you can feel inspired from is Leowook, which makes really good content. I mean, it's not really storytelling, but the way he makes his videos, especially with, I think it's how this button destroyed the server, something like that. That video was such a masterpiece. And then I would just recommend more lifesteal content creators like JoJo Solos or Jaren, because they make really good content as well that I watch. I mean, I'm pretty picky with what I watch now because I'm subscribed to a lot of people, so I kind of pick out what I watch, because unless I would be watching like a lot of hours of content per week. So getting out of what YouTubers inspired me to make YouTube content and who inspired me to do YouTube, we're going to get out of that, and we're going to start with why even starting this podcast and why I feel inspired to make this podcast. Of course, I will say Parrot's test run is a big motivator, because I probably wouldn't be doing podcasts because I don't really listen to podcasts as much as I should, especially since I probably need more content creator advice and probably not getting better advice than listening to content creators themselves in podcasts. So, but I also want to try like everything content creation has to offer. So podcasting is on that list because it's a form of content creation. I mean, there's multiple things that I still have on my list of what I want to do in content creation, but I'm slowly getting there. Streaming was one of them, so I'm excited that I did that. Now it's podcasting, which I hope is really fun. I hope you guys are having a fun time listening to this, because I hope my yapping is good enough. Especially since I'm a smaller content creator and not a lot of people would listen to you because you don't have much following. But I hope whoever's watching this, I hope you guys not only have a great day, but I hope you're having a fun time listening to this, because I hope my work and effort that I put into these podcasts is something worth listening to. How about we do a little bit of an origin story for this podcast, aka Whispers of the Sea? The major reason why I'm doing this is because I want to try different kinds of content, and why I named this podcast Whispers of the Sea. It's mainly because I want to do something that's kind of like ocean themed, of course, because I'm DolphinCupcake, and whispers because it's a podcast. You yap during a podcast. I don't know what else you would do during a podcast besides from like, I don't know, ASMR, but it's still like noise during ASMR, so whispers, aka my voice, and then of the sea because I love oceans, and also because of Royal Caribbean because their whole fleet is Symphony of the Seas, Icon of the Seas, Star of the Seas, Harmony of the Seas, Oasis of the Seas. That kind of niche is of the seas. So I decided to do that kind of niche for my podcast as well. So, creating my own little fleet of podcasts welcoming Whispers of the Sea. So, that's mainly the reason behind the podcast name. As per episodes, or what I'm going to be yapping about in this series is going to be this is my first podcast, so I'm going to be all over the places. It's not specified to a certain niche, of course. So, I'm probably going to have episodes yapping about my personal experience, advice on different topics, as well as probably yapping with some friends. If any of my friends or people I know are listening to this and want to be a part of this podcast, please send me a DM. I would love to make a podcast with you guys, especially since it's fun to yap not by yourself in a silent bedroom, which I'm doing right now. I'm in my bedroom yapping to myself, technically, besides from everyone watching this. Hello, everyone. But it will be fun if I have someone to yap with in this podcast series. So if you want to be a part of the series and you know me, please hit me up and I would love to podcast with you. Even if you're like a smaller content creator like me, or if you're a bigger content creator like Parrot and you want to be a part of this podcast, please let me know. Hit me up with a DM. I would love to meet new people a part of this wonderful Minecraft community. I'm talking to content creators in the Minecraft community, or if you're in the Star Stable community even. It would be fun to yap with you guys. If you're listening to this and want to, of course, feel free to DM me on Discord. But going full loop back to my audience, this podcast is really meant to just share my advice, my experiences, yap with other content creators / friends, and just basically yap about anything. This podcast isn't really branded towards a certain niche at the moment, and I'm not really planning on to unless I make another podcast. So for right now, this podcast and all future episodes are basically about anything and everything that I want to talk about. So that's basically what my podcasts are going to be about for Whispers of the Sea. It still sounds so surreal saying Whispers of the Sea because I just recently thought about the name about a week ago and now I want to start this podcast. Just crazy. It's crazy what unique ideas and what journeys this is going to take me through. And it looks like we still got time to yap. Usually podcasts are around 45 minutes, and I'm right now it's at 45 minutes, but I'm probably editing out all the pauses I take or any redos I take when I'm talking, because since I'm still sliding into the niche, I'm still not really great at talking consistently without pausing and taking a breath to think about what I'm talking next, even though I have an outline for what I want to talk about. There's so much things I have to think about in those subtopics that I want to talk about. So I take longer breaks, or if I accidentally misspell or missay a word, I have to cut that out. Or if I take a break in what I'm saying, I have to cut that out as well, so it doesn't just sound like I'm repeating what I said. But yeah, that's podcasting for you. I probably need a yap for, I don't know how much longer. I mean, podcasts could be anywhere from like 10 minutes to 3-4 hours, or maybe even longer. Podcasts have no time limits at all, but what I want to do for at least Whispers of the Sea is to have it between 45 minutes to an hour mark. For right now, it says 45 minutes, but counting out all the times that I messed up or take pauses in my breaks or repeat words, it's probably condensing down to about 30 minutes is my guess. That's my guess. What time is it for you guys? I still have to edit the sound for the podcast, so I have no idea. Especially since this is like the first episode, I'm kind of getting into this podcast type feel. So I'm excited. I'm excited for what Whispers of the Sea has for me in the future, and what content creators or friends that I get to yap about, and what topics we're going to talk about. I could technically yap about the next episode, but it wouldn't make sense to put the first episode and the second episode together. So the next episode is going to be, I can at least say what I'm going to talk about next episode. So next episode, I'm going to talk about perfectionism because I have a really hard case of perfectionism. I really love perfectionism. It's basically in my DNA. And there's not a lot of people that have perfectionism that I know of besides for my mom. Yeah, that's basically it. So perfectionism is a hard thing that I have to deal with. So, of course, that's next episode. So if you're excited and want to listen to that, so please, after this podcast, feel free to hop on over to episode 2. I'm excited to yap about that because not a lot of people know what perfectionism is and how it affects everyday life. It affects me in a lot of ways, especially podcasting, because I want to make every word count for the listeners listening to me, even though I kind of go off topic a little bit, especially right now. So yeah, perfectionism. That's going to be really fun to talk about because I don't know many people who have it. Maybe there's some people who just don't talk about it because I don't talk about mine either. You don't usually want to talk about your issues except for like in a podcast or something, which I'm going to be doing, which is really fun. So, perfectionism for you in the next episode. Anyways, might as well keep the first episode short. I don't have much to talk about besides from talking about my next episode, which I'm recording right after this, which is going to be really fun, especially since I've just ran out of all my subpoints. I went through all my subpoints already. So I hope you guys had a fun time listening to my first episode of Whispers of the Sea. I hope this podcast becomes really interesting for you guys to come back to and listen to. But I'm excited for where this podcast takes me as a content creator and see if I like it or not, because this is something new I'm trying besides from commentary type content. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys in episode number 2. Bye bye.